Hello everyone and welcome to Mail Something Pretty. I am Christine Josty and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I wanted to show you some new products, which is very exciting. This new Waves of Inspiration stamp set, and it also comes with coordinating waves, 2 waves for the dies, some labels, one for the pelican, and then some clouds that I have over here. So it's exciting. This stamp set and the dies will be in the new or the upcoming 2022-23 annual catalog that comes out in May. But it will be available early in March and April. And so that will be coming back in the annual catalog, but there's also some other cool things that are will be out in March that will be limited supply. So some really fun paper that kind of goes with all, like, it's really cool how they did it. And then the other sides are like that. So this paper, and there's foil paper. So it's the color of, oh, let me open it up. Sorry, I thought I had it open. It is like Night of Navy. I think to me it looks like Coastal Cabana. And then there's, you get 2 of each, and there's a silver piece. Like that. And so those are limited supply, or limited time I should say. And there's one, there's one more thing. There's of course some matching gems. So the stamp set and the dies will be available early in March, and then all throughout another year. The 2 papers, the foil paper and the designer paper, and the gems will be available early in March, and then while supplies last. Okay, but I wanted to show you this card that's really just with stamping. It doesn't use the papers, although I did use some of the gems. And then it's all the same card. I just used the different words in the card. And then the last one is the same card, but then I did put a foil sheet over the waves, just to show you that it goes on top of the waves. But what I'm going to show you with this card is I did the 2 color stamping to get the waves. All right, so it is a February club project, but I had to put your cards together because it was all stamping. But I wanted to show you how I did it. And I used the Stamparatus because it is you can see, it's a very large stamp. So if you're going to use the blocks, it's that biggest block. I forget what letter, but it's that big block that would use it. But the Stamparatus works great. I think looks really great with this. All right. So what I did was, let me get my paper out. Kind of pre-cut some stuff. All right, so I used a Coastal Cabana base, standard size, and then I cut the white. It's bigger. We're going to trim it, but you'll see why I made it a little bit bigger. But it's 5 1/4 by 4, and then the smaller blue layer, I forget. It's just a little bit smaller. Okay, so for the Stamparatus, I created my own base sheet. I just used, one of the back sides that comes with the paper. This is a red rubber stamp, so you don't need the foam, and I could use just this plate, but it was possible we might get some ink on it, and so that would just you can kind of see. It just works better to have paper underneath it. So this is 7 1/2 by 7 1/2. I just put an arrow so I know that that's where it goes. And I also made 2 sets of lines. So you'll notice here I always use washi tape on my Stamparatus because that is generally always where I'm going to put my paper. So I line my paper and then put my stamps. And then if you make multiple cards, you always know where your paper is going to go. So I made lines. So I made 2, and you can notice that there's 2 colors associated with it. And you'll see because we're going to shift the paper. So the first one, it doesn't matter on here where it goes, but I just made the line. So I'm going to put my paper on that first kind of grid line that I made, and just one magnet will be fine. I already set where I wanted my stamp to be. And I'm going to use Coastal Cabana ink. So this is like a distinctive, I think it's distinctive, or close to it, stamp, which means it has like a lot of detail in there. Or maybe it's, actually it's hard to tell. I think it is a distinctive. But anyways, you'll see you get a lot of detail just with one stamp. And the beauty is of the Stamparatus, if I find that I didn't press it enough, like if I wanted that to be a little darker, I can just re-ink it a little bit more. Might as well re-ink the whole thing, and I can just press. And it gets a little darker. So that by itself is beautiful, right? There's a lot of detail in there, and it's great. I'll show the comparison. But I want to have it to be two colors, right? Because oceans aren't just one color. So that's where the shifting comes in. So I'm just going to shift my paper a little bit. And so that's where this darker line comes in. Put the magnet, and because we're going to use a darker color, I don't even have to wash that off. So this is specific point. Ink this up. And close that down. Isn't that pretty? So if you wanted it darker, again, you can just re-ink it again, because it's not moving, it's going in the exact same place. And you get a little darker. So you can see when we first did the Coastal Cabana, there was a little white space over here, and now it's a little bit of they didn't quite match up, and that's why I made my paper a little bit bigger. So we will I'll trim that in a second. So I'm going to use my words, and I put the words just on. I already kind of lined up where I wanted them to be. Oh. But I'm just looking around. I actually did it in a different color, but I will use Pacific Point. I did it, this one in Night of Navy. And I'm just looking around. I don't think I have that with me. Actually, hold on a second. I have Misty Moonlight. I'm going to use that. Okay, I'm back. I just got the navy because I think the extra color looks good. So I'm just going to ink up my words. Press it down. You're so totally awesome. All right. So now I'm going to trim that paper. So remember, with your Stamparatus, you can't close both plates. You can close one and then just, I take one off and lay it that way. And I will wash, oops, I will wash those plates. Okay, so I'm going to trim this again. This was 5 1/4 by 4, so I'm going to trim 1/4 inch off two sides. So I have a little piece here and a little piece here. So I'm just going to do a little bit on each side. So I want this to be 5. And then I'm just going to take 1/4 inch off the top. So it becomes 5 by 3 3/4. So that way it's nice and crisp. It looks good. And now we can put this together. So again, this is just a standard size Coastal Cabana. And I think this is just 1/8 of an inch bigger because it's just a smaller, yeah, it's just a small layer. I didn't want to overwhelm it. And that's why I like the navy blue ink too, because it matches the Night of Navy, which is my favorite color. Okay. Put that on the base. And then we'll just finish it up with some seagulls and some clouds. Okay, so it looks like I have a little smudge there, but that's fine. I'll just gonna put a cloud on top of it. So the clouds are, there's dies that come with a set. So you get 2 clouds. So you leave them just puffy clouds, just like that. Or there's these guys, kind of like the little texture of the clouds. So we'll just put those on. I just put tiny little dabs of glue, or you can use the adhesive sheets. Just goes right on top. And tweezers coming very handy. Okay, and I've seen, because the demonstrators are able to pre-order this set, I've seen some clouds with like the detail with gray, so a little bit more of a stormy cloud. I was even thinking like pool party might look nice, you know, reflection of the water. And one of them I did, I'll show you. These are not sticking to me. I did with, I did it with a shimmery white, so it's not quite as creamy as vanilla, but it's not quite as white, so it gives a little bit of a dimension. So you can kind of play with them. And some cards, not these ones, but I've done other cards. They're just, I just leave them without the outline. If you want to get really fancy, you could use your blender, the blending brushes, and kind of blend the reflection if you were doing like a sunset. Oops. All right, so I'm just going to put this. I'm going to cover my little smudge. And then the other cloud, I'm just going to actually put, actually I'll puff it up. Somewhere I was doing up and some I was doing flat. I'll just puff this up. Put that down here. And then we'll just finish it off with the seagulls. There's a die that cuts 2 seagulls. Here it is. Like that. And there's also a stamp with 1 seagull, so you could even stamp one and have them some up, some down. So I'm just putting like a tiny bit of glue. Again, the adhesive sheets would look nice. And then you see, when you do the seagulls, you don't want them like flying in the same direction. You kind of want them somewhere off, because they don't really all fly that way. At least not 2 of them. So like that right there. And then if you wanted to finish it off with some gems, and you have 5 different colors, I think I'll use Pacific Point. You're totally awesome. I think I'll just do 1. All right, so again, I'll show you with the different words. Excuse me, it's all the same card, but with the different words that come with it. There you go. So if you're interested in the waves selection, just know that they come out May 1st. You can contact me. I'll be happy to help you if you need to order it. And you're going to see lots of samples because the demonstrators have been able to play with it. So there's lots of stuff online and it's a lot of fun. So thank you again for watching. And then you can visit my website, mailsomethingpretty.com. If you want to do /links, then you'll get all the links of everything that I do. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel so you know when I have new videos out and posted. And I think that should about do it. So I hope you like the project. Have a great day. Bye-bye.